When police dug under this children's entertainer's house in 1978, they found 26 decomposing bodies stacked like cordwood in his crawl space. But here's what will haunt you. While those bodies rotted beneath his floorboards, John Wayne Gacy hosted elaborate dinner parties directly above them. Tonight, we're re-diving into the case that proves your worst nightmare. The monster next door is just real. He is probably smiling at your kids right now. But before we dive into this darkness, I want you to try something that will change how you see people forever. Next time you're talking to someone, watch their hands. If their palms are facing up while they speak, they're likely telling the truth. Hidden palms or palms facing down, they're probably lying. It's an unconscious honesty signal that liars can't fake. Test this on everyone you meet this week. You'll be shocked at what you discover. Your brain will never let you unsee this trick. And trust me, after tonight's case, you'll want to know who's lying to you. Welcome to Dark Case Files, where we expose the predators hiding in plain sight. John Wayne Gacy was born March 17, 1942 in Chicago, and his childhood was a blueprint for creating a monster. His father, an alcoholic, beat him regularly while telling him he'd never amount to anything. But here's the terrifying part. Instead of breaking him, this abuse created something far worse, a master manipulator desperate to prove his worth. Speaking of manipulation, try this dark psychology experiment. Next time you're at a coffee shop, pause for 2 seconds when ordering and say, actually, ... Then order the exact same thing you were going to order anyway. The barista will think you're being thoughtful and decisive, giving you significantly better service. It's called the reconsideration illusion, and Gacy used tactics like this to fool everyone. In 1964, Gacy seemed to turn his life around. He married, moved to Iowa, and managed Kentucky Fried Chicken restaurants. The perfect American success story, until 1968, when he was convicted of sexually assaulting a teenage employee. Here's what chills me to the bone. He only served 18 months of a 10-year sentence for good behavior. The system literally handed a predator back to society with a clean slate. His wife divorced him, but Gacy saw this as just another obstacle to overcome. He moved back to Chicago with one goal: never get caught again. And for the next decade, he didn't. Comment failed. If you think the justice system created this monster, or born evil if you think he was always going to kill. I'm genuinely curious where our community stands on this. Back in Chicago, Gacy crafted the perfect mask. He started PDM contractors, remarried, and became active in Democratic politics. He organized fundraising events and even met First Lady Rosalynn Carter. But his masterstroke was creating Pogo the Clown, a character that gave him access to the most vulnerable targets: children and their trusting families. Here's a chilling social experiment you can try. Next time you're in an elevator with strangers, face the back wall instead of the front. Watch what happens. At least one person will turn around too. We unconsciously follow confident behavior even when it makes no logical sense. Gacy exploited this herd mentality perfectly. Gacy's method was sickeningly efficient. He'd lure young men to 8213 West Summerdale Avenue with promises of construction work. These were random victims. He specifically targeted runaways and troubled youth who would be immediately missed. Once inside, he'd demonstrate his rope trick as a magic trick before using it to restrain his victims. What happened next was hours of torture, sexual assault, and murder by strangulation. But here's where Gacy showed his true psychopathic nature. Instead of disposing of bodies elsewhere, he buried them under his own house. When the crawl space filled up with 26 corpses, he started burying them around his property. The psychological compartmentalization required to live above a mass grave, while entertaining children as a clown, is beyond comprehension. Yet Gacy did it for years, hosting dinner parties where guests literally ate above rotting human remains. December 11, 1978, 15-year-old Robert Piest told his mother he was meeting a construction contractor about a job. That contractor was John Wayne Gacy. When Robert didn't come home, his mother called police. This one phone call would expose one of America's most horrific crime scenes. When officers arrived at Gacy's house, they immediately smelled death. Gacy claimed it was sewer problems, but investigators knew better. On December 21st, they began excavating. What they found broke even veteran detectives, body after body. Some reduced to skeletons, others in various stages of decomposition. 26 bodies were recovered from his property. 7 more victims were found in rivers where Gacy dumped them when he ran out of burial space. 33 confirmed murders, making him one of the most prolific serial killers in American history. Gacy's 1980 trial captivated the nation. His defense claimed insanity, arguing his Pogo persona was responsible for the murders, but prosecutors proved something more terrifying. Gacy knew exactly what he was doing. The meticulous planning, evidence disposal, and years of successful deception proved he was a calculating creditor, not an insane man. During the trial, Gacy showed zero remorse. He complained about the disruption to his life, and seemed to enjoy the attention. Even facing death, he called his victims worthless little queers. This wasn't mental illness, this was pure evil. On May 10, 1994, Gacy was executed. His final words, "Kiss my ass." Even in death, he remained defiant, remorseless, and utterly without humanity. The Gacy case shattered our understanding of serial killers. He wasn't a loner on society's fringes. He was the successful businessman, the community volunteer, the trusted entertainer at your child's party. The monster next door doesn't look like a monster. He looks like everyone else. Drop a mask emoji if the idea of killers hiding behind clown makeup disturbs you as much as it does me. Comment neighbor if you've ever wondered about the person living next door, and hit that subscribe button because the Dark Case Files community needs to stick together. We're the ones brave enough to stare into the darkness and learn from it. Next week, we're diving into Dennis Rader BTK, another family man who fooled everyone for 30 years. You won't sleep after hearing what he did to entire families. Until then, stay vigilant, Dark Case Files family. The monsters are still out there, still smiling, still waiting.